Well, hello and welcome to this episode of Let's Chat MetaPWR. Here we are with Lisa Costa. Lisa, it's a delight to have you. You're a mother, a woman of many hats. Talk us through what was life like for you before you started MetaPWR and what was it that inspired you to give it a go?
Okay. Firstly, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. And thank you for putting these calls together because you've had some outstanding guests and I've gained a lot of knowledge and information and education. So thanks for that, Anna. It's been awesome. Um, Life before MetaPWR was messy, erratic, chaotic, and probably even a little bit out of control. So there wasn't a lot of organization in my body. So my outer world was very messy as well. And that's probably the best way to explain it. But if I was to be really clear, probably everything you've got listed on your backdrop there is what I have listed down here. Poor sleep, moody, poor digestion. I'm perimenopausal, so I had hormonal issues going on, inflammation. My whole body was throwing lots of information signs at me that I was ignoring, and I didn't really know how to manage those or how to fix the problems in some cases. And I was tired and grumpy because my sleep was terrible. I really was. I had really poor sleep hygiene. I wasn't going to bed early, and just wasn't getting quality sleep. So the inspiration came to start MetaPWR when I first learned about it landing in the US. And I'd heard a bit about it and I read a bit about it and I was following some pages of people who were using it and the results were outstanding. So I was buying it from the US. And I did stop that because the cost blew out with the dollar, like it just became unaffordable. And that was not my best decision. But financially it was right at the time. And I knew that we were going to get it eventually. So when
I ask you then, had you been noticing any differences up to that point when you stopped taking it? Had you noticed some changes already?
um in all honesty, if I did, they were minor and not as obvious as they were when I started taking the Aussie version. Our Aussie version is a little different and superior, I have to say. I really did notice some differences that came really early on when I started taking MetaPWR, and sleep was the first one. I remember waking up, it was day 3 that I'd been taking MetaPWR, and Craig was on one side of the bed and I'm on the other, and I'm making the bed and I'm like, I was doing it with a smile on my face, and I said to him, I feel so good. And he's like, okay. And I said, no, you don't understand. I actually feel really good. I don't ever remember when I'd gotten out of bed and, literally bounced out of bed and felt that great. I'd been feeling tired and lethargic getting out of bed. So, and that was years of poor sleep and, too many jobs and spreading myself way too thin. That's partly conditioning. But I honestly couldn't believe how well I felt and how fast that happened when I started taking our Australia New Zealand version of MetaPWR. So it made a big difference to me really quickly.
It's remarkable, isn't it? And you start to wonder, how do other people live without this? And you never swap it out, hey?
Never.
What else happened for you? I mean, you referred to the list here next to me. There's, did you notice an increase of energy, that brain fog leaving, or yeah, can you share with us what else you noticed along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually made some notes because when I first started taking it, I wanted to remember how I used to feel because it's easy to forget. And some of the signs of things changing are subtle, but you don't notice them until later. So what changes did I notice? Well, my sleep, which I just shared, my mind, my focus and concentration, and my ability to be able to think of things without having to stop and stumble and really try and use your brain hard to try and remember things. Like, so my memory was better. The sleep changed my mood dramatically. And when you get really sound sleep. And I'm not talking about enough hours in bed. I'm talking about those hours in bed where the sleep is deep and wholesome, where your body can do all the cleansing and dumping that it's designed to do, where the body is very clever. When you get the hours in bed and that quality of sleep where your body does that, it's phenomenal how much better your body will feel and what changes in your system when you do that. Just amazing. What else was there? I did make a list. The inflammation. So there was a big reduction in my bloating and my digestive function, which I've been dealing with IBS for years, since my teens. And that's always been an ongoing thing for me. Well, now it's almost, I almost don't notice it. Okay, I'm choosing better foods because I feel like eating better foods. I'm actually driven, to picking better foods now because, I don't know, I'm not craving the sweet stuff as much anymore or the junk food as much. But yeah, the inflammation in my body, in my joints, I've been playing sport and teaching fitness for years. I've got worn out knee joints. I need a double knee replacement. And before I started taking MetaPWR, I was thinking that surgery was going to have to be sooner rather than later. Now I know the knee joints are worn. There's no cartilage between the bones, but the inflammation's not there. So if I want to do a short run now, I can. It's not wise because there's no cartilage, but I can do it comfortably and the knees don't blow up and I don't have that ongoing nagging pain for days after I've done it. So the reduction in inflammation was huge. The puffiness, I used to notice that everything used to be like puffy and fluidy. I don't have that anymore. The digestion, the hormone balance. I have not had a hot flush since June of last year when I started taking MetaPWR. That was big.
Lisa, that is remarkable.
And it was a welcome change too, because it was getting to the stage where, you're deep asleep and you're trying to get that quality sleep, and that raging fire that burns from the inside. Anyone here that's going through menopause or been through it will know the fire starts on the inside and you can't get your clothes off. You just can't cool your body down fast enough. So it's a very uncomfortable way to be woken up from sleep. And it takes a while to recover from it. Usually you're saturated. So that was really good. Like, not having that happen was just amazing. And, hormones affect our mood. So the fact that the hormones seemed to be better managed and my sleep was good. I didn't have the erratic moods, which I think I mentioned earlier, but that was really quite obvious to me. I have tachycardia. I've had tachycardia for years, or probably all my life. I come from a long family history of heart disease, and that's been an ongoing problem as well. And different things trigger it: stress, lack of hydration. When I was teaching cycle classes, like a crazy woman at the gym, it would go off a couple of times during the session. You can't just get off a bike and say, hang on a minute, my heart's throwing a wobbly, I need to stop. You have to keep going. So I just used to push through that. But that would happen 7, 8, 9 times a day. And now I think I notice it maybe, I don't know, 3 times a month, if that. So that's clearly an inflammatory thing, and I'm glad not to feel that anymore, because it is a little bit alarming. Even though you've survived it before, you never know when you're not going to survive it. So, or when the next thing is going to happen. So not experiencing that as many times as I did is wonderful. My hair, my skin, my nails, the beauty things were like, I love makeup and I'm a hairdresser by trade. So I'm into those things, but they weren't the things that were my main concern. I was looking for those bigger changes, the inflammation, the digestion, and the hormone management and the mental clarity. I was really looking for those because they were starting to become quite problematic. But the concentration and clarity, unbelievably, like, we're heaps better now.
You're a powerhouse. Even the way you talk, your energy, like you're dynamic, really.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
it's hard to hide when you feel this good.
I love it. I love it. It's contagious. So with all of these noticeable differences, were they something that just spiraled along, or is it all at once, or what time frame? Can you kind of pinpoint how it unraveled?
So what's this, 10 months for me now? Sleep was pretty immediate in the first, let's say the first week. Definitely in the first 3 days, I did feel remarkably different. And those things just happened over time. Like if you don't make a list in the beginning, you won't know at the end. I don't notice the days that something stopped and those some things changed, but I can say that even now, 10 months later, I'm still noticing change. I'm still identifying. And I thought, people say, why do you keep going if you've already experienced that? And I think, well, if I stop, I don't want those hot flushes back. I'm done with those. Are they going to come back? I don't want to know. I'm actually not going to find out because I'm not going to stop. But yeah, I don't recall particular moments, but there was weeks and days where I thought, oh, my heart hasn't done that flip-flop thing anymore. And I haven't noticed that for quite a while. And when it came to sleep, very early on, probably in the first month, I had to go to bed at around 10:30. So it actually reprogrammed my sleep. If I wasn't in bed by 10:30, if I'm not in bed by 10:30, I'm asleep on the couch. And it's not a comfortable night's sleep, but I'm out for the count. So it actually gives me the opportunity to put myself to bed early, and it's totally reshaped my sleep. And I can get up now early. Sorry, Anna.
It flows into your next day, like you say. You've got that energy. You're excited to get out of bed. Better moods.
Yeah.
What about things like your food choices? Did it have any impact on that? Any changes in that area?
Not in the beginning, because I think I became a little bit rebellious and thought, really? What? I'm going to have that piece of chocolate. But since doing the 21-day challenge, the reset, for those of you that are on that, I don't know if you're feeling changes since that. Like I'm 10 months into this, but this 21 days, sorry, it's done things for me. I can fit into jeans now that I haven't fitted into for probably 3 years. And I'm not interested. I have had the occasional sweet treat, but I kind of have it and go, it's not, and I'm not looking for more after that. I haven't go, yeah, okay, well, I wasn't really satisfied with that. Or sometimes I think, yeah, I really feel like that, and I have it, and then I go, yeah, I didn't really want that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being that rebel, because there's a few of us out there that would have been like you and go, no, I'm sticking to my sweet treats. But then, like you say, it just naturally, with the MetaPWR, you're naturally satisfied and you're not reaching for those sweets. We're getting a lot of nods in the audience as they're listening to you, Lisa. It's wonderful. Can you tell us, was it easy for you to implement it as a daily habit? Did you find you were taking all of the products, or were there some that you were favouring?
That's a great question. And before we opened the call up to everyone, I was just saying to Anna how very unstructured I am. But so I packed like 6 packs. They have my LV, a turmeric, whatever I take, the sups I choose, and a MetaPWR sachet. So it doesn't matter where I am. There's one of these in my bag, and I've always got one with me. And there's 6 packed or 12 actually, I pack for morning and night. But I have to be this person who does this, because to go without, to miss a day, and to feel the difference from even that one day makes such a big difference. And sure, the next day you can fix that, but why would you want to? Just be organized, get yourself set up really well, establish good habits so that, being without them, you don't have to feel guilty because you've always got them when you're prepped. So that was how I stopped, or how I didn't not take them. That was how I kept habit.
Yeah. That's brilliant. So you've got the lifelong vitality in there. You've got the MetaPWR collagen and the assist.
There's a MetaPWR assist, capsule in there. All the LLV sups ×2, because when I started taking MetaPWR, I actually increased the LLV to a full dose. And that made a big difference to me. I don't know if anyone's done that yet. Some people tend to think if they're taking that, they don't need to do that. My body copes with the double dose, or the full dose of lifelong vitality morning and night. And I don't need to stop because I don't have to. I don't want to. I feel really good. I feel the best I've ever felt without a word of doubt, without a word of a lie. So these are my forever habits, forever.
Yeah.
Not to be without.
It's showing. You really are shining. It's beautiful. So do you ever have moments of self-sabotage where, you're creating this daily habit, but then you get lazy or you start thinking, oh, I did it yesterday. Did that ever come in, Lisa, or have you been determined because of the results you were seeing?
I think in the whole 10 months I've missed 2 days of taking a sachet, and they weren't back to back. They were like ages ago and probably only 3 months ago. And I think I was worried about how I would feel. I think the worry was more the problem. It wasn't, I don't know. I think your head does a lot of things, and it's really clever at making you think you're going to feel a particular way. So I just never wanted to be without them when I felt so good. But interestingly, my 2 children take the Lifelong Vitality SUPs and the MetaPWR, and my son had been taking his for about 3 weeks, and we went out for dinner one night, and I said, "How are you going with your SUPs, mate?" And he said, "Terrible." And I said, "Why?" Like, he lives here, well, between here and his girlfriends. And I said, "What's happening? Are they not agreeing with you? Is there something wrong?" And he said, "No, I haven't taken them for 3 days and I feel like rubbish. My sleep has been revolting. I'm tired. I'm irritable." Like, he just had all these things that he's 23, he's a boy. I was thinking he'd probably do it for 5 minutes and fall off. I thought he would invest the money and then not continue. He's totally surprised me, and still orders them every month.
That's interesting to hear that from a younger person who, you think, oh, their vitality's up there, but for him to notice a difference when he's not taking them. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you do? What would you say to someone who's thinking about starting with MetaPWR? What would be your words of advice?
Write down all the things you don't want to feel before you start, all the things you want to feel no longer, all the things you hope MetaPWR will help support. Because as I said earlier, these things can just stop happening and you don't notice and you forget. So it's not until you have a list like I have here, you go back and go, wow, that and that. And oh my goodness, that. I can't remember the last time I had a headache either. And it's probably because it draws so much hydration out into the outer layers of your skin. Like, you can't not feel good for that. So
And what's to come? I mean, you don't even know what's ahead.
that's it. So my advice would be start it before you're ready. Because we age from the inside out and we can't always feel what's going on because we can't always identify it because we can't see it. And we get used to the way we feel. So start, because it will provide great change. We know that. Everyone that's taking it can tell you at least a handful of things that it's done for them. And if money is the issue, which a lot of people say, "I really, really want to do it. I really want to do it." And then you tell them the price, and I'm like that excited for them, and they go, "I really can't afford that." And I just say, if this was your children and you had to go to a specialist and you had to get medical care for them that was going to cost you $170 a month, would you find the money? Absolutely. Do you not matter enough to do that for yourself, to find the money? Find it the first time, bring 4 friends in, tell them what you're doing, share that with them, and have them get the all the benefits from MetaPWR along with you. And that just keeps happening for people, and that's how you make it affordable, because doTERRA's commissions are so beautiful and so generous that you're really missing out. You're really missing out. And we're not going to get any better if we keep ignoring what's wrong with us either. We always, as particularly us, we're probably all mums here, or people who provide care for others at least, but we always put ourselves second behind everything else. It's always, no, I'll do that for them this month and I'll do that for them. We never go, hang on, me. I have to come first because I matter. And if I'm not well, I can't pour for an empty cup. So prioritize yourself. Well, I think I worked out the other day, it's like $7 something a day to take MetaPWR for a month. It's, it's affordable. You just got to think really smart about it and just put that away, separate it from everything else. Throw $8 in your bag, put it in the bank, buy yourself MetaPWR. I guarantee you won't regret it. And my next suggestion is stick to it for 3 months. Get on LRP and stick to it for 3 months, because for some people, the changes are slow. Some people, depending on what's going on in your body and the expectations you have, sometimes those changes don't come fast. They take a little bit more time. Be patient, stick to it, commit to you for 3 months and see what happens. I guarantee you after that, you will A, be affording it because you'll be getting commissions because you've shared it with half of town. And B, you won't want to come off it because you won't want to be feeling as rubbishy as you did before, even though you felt great. You thought you felt great. And yeah, you'll just be able to share this with so many other people and benefit them in ways that they can't even imagine. But you're already there. You're already getting those experiences from the products.
Beautifully explained, Lisa. Thank you. And thank you for sharing those solutions to obstacles that might come up, like the money thing, or, I can't afford it, but coming back to, do you value yourself enough? Yeah. And then, all your tips about lean on doTERRA and their beautiful commission and sharing it with others, and also the reward points, we get so much back. I just wanted to open up to the group. We've got a lovely group here, very attentive. If anyone has a question, you're welcome to unmute while Lisa's on, or type in the chat. We also have on Facebook, I can see we're reaching out. So if anyone has questions, anything's popped up, and as Lisa's been chatting. Lisa, is there anything else from your list that you wanted to on?
No, but I would emphasize again, start with the list. Revisit your list after a month. Revisit it after a week. Just keep going back and visiting that original list, because it can change so much. And it can change in ways that we don't even identify straight away. And you can add to the list of discoveries as well. There'll be things that you'll be like, oh my goodness, my skin looks better. Those wrinkles are softening and I don't look so crepey and old. And
yeah, and start listening to the compliments that you're getting from people around you, hey?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and notice your clothing, because this product's ability to be able to help your body shrink those fat cells. Can I say that here?
You've said
I just did. Okay. It's amazing. Like when I put those jeans on the other night that I haven't worn for like 3 years and I could get them done up, I was like, yeah, you go, girl. And I don't know that it's a weight thing. I just feel like I'm not as bloated, and my midsection has started to shrink, because when COVID hit, I gave up my teaching job at the gym, and I think I lived on cheese and wine in lockdown. And menopause started, and I was like, well, this is a very, very different shape to what I'm used to. And it doesn't change in a hurry, but here I am 10 months down the track, just starting to notice that I'm way more comfortable in clothes that I've had, not new clothes that I've bought, but clothes that I had for a while. So that's really exciting. Just when you think things aren't happening, those things are happening, and you just might not notice.
Hey, I have a customer that is a kidney transplant. Is it safe for her to take MetaPWR?
I would check the TGA, and I would also get her to check with her physician. We're not actually in a position where we can prescribe or diagnose, or I would even be very cautious suggesting. Ultimately, it's up to her. She gets the overarching decision what she does to her body. But I would definitely be getting medical advice, and anything the physician needs to know about the product is listed on the TGA. So it's there for them to go over together, and I would definitely be doing that for sure. That's a great question.
The thing is with her, she's on anti-rejection drug, yeah.
Yeah.
So she can't have anything to build up her immune system. She has to have it to suppress it.
Yeah. Look, I would be very surprised given what it's created from, but I'm not the person to say she should do this. I really and honestly think that, you know, we need to go to those that know a little better. I'm not a kidney specialist, so my gift is not, you know, knowing the renal system inside out. So I don't really want to give misleading information there.
Have you heard anyone have that?
No. I haven't personally. I don't know about anyone else on the call, but I haven't. No. It's a great question.
Yeah. And that's good answer with directing Serena there to the Therapeutic Goods Australia. So you'll be able to get the printout of, it's very thorough actually. So
wonderful.
Type that in with the word MetaPWR. And then also the product information pages, you know, our PIPs, you can write MetaPWR, PIP.
Yeah.
Print that off as well.
Okay, cool.
Anyone that's got any kind of medical conditions that, you know, if we're not doctors, we can't really be even prescribing or suggesting, but I would definitely be, you know, that resource is there for all of us to use, physicians included. And some physicians that I know have actually looked at that and gone, wow, what? Can I have a look at that? Like my next door neighbor's physician was like, where do I get that? How do I learn about this? And so we've sent her a heap of information, but I think it depends. Some people are very closed off to natural therapies and will just say straight up, some medical practitioners, no, I don't think you should do that. And I've had that happen to one of my clients who was taking the gut health and was thriving on the gut health. And he went to his physician and the physician said, no, you shouldn't take that. I'm like, okay. And he was doing so well and feeling so well that I was surprised, like it's all natural. What was the problem? It gave him no explanation. No, you just shouldn't be doing that. So I think they feel like they're a bit out of control when a patient goes and does something that's completely natural that their body seems to tolerate and do okay with. I think they feel a bit threatened. I don't know. But yeah.
Thank you. And Anne-Marie's just affirming that Anne-Marie's a nurse and saying, yes, definitely need to check with a specialist. But what we're doing here is sharing our personal experiences. So I just want to say thank you to you, Lisa, for sharing your story with us tonight with such enthusiasm and vivacity. We all want to be on what you're on.
Well, you all have the opportunity. And once you start, if you're not already on it, oh my goodness, you're missing out. You're really robbing yourself. And, you know, I keep looking at, you know, Dr. O and Dr. Hill, and they talk about, you know, when they die, they just want to go to sleep at the end of their life. They don't want to end up, they want to be spending all these years in the, you know, medical practitioners' offices getting, you know, medications and living in that wheel. And Dr. Hill's a physician, so that is so bizarre, but they've created this to give us a long, healthy life. If you keep waiting to take it, how long and healthy is your life going to be? Dive in, don't wait.
Very powerful. Thank you again, Lisa. And thank you everyone for watching, taking the time out tonight. You're all very inspiring.